Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about a weird story that I saw that it blew me away when I saw it because, we've seen some pretty outlandish lawsuits before. I feel like, people will go to, Starbucks and they'll get a coffee and it won't have enough whipped cream on it or whatever, so they sue them for $18 billion, something to kind of get their name out there or something. We've seen those situations before, but this one is just actually absurd in my opinion. Like, I just don't see a way in which this is not only financially possible, but also why going through this is necessary really in the first place. I don't know. I mean, I get why in this instance the OnlyFans model would be upset about what happened, and why even maybe if she could prove financial damage, why a lawsuit would be something she could pursue. But the idea that this is the way to go about it, I really don't know about that. So it seems like there's new OnlyFans drama every single day, from teachers filming content in schools to being arrested on TikTok. There's a lot of controversy on the platform. The latest diabolical act of debauchery comes in the form of 25-year-old Michaela Saravia, an OnlyFans megastar known for her massive tongue, and ex-boyfriend Nicholas Hunter. According to Saravia, her ex hacked into her social media and posted videos that she never intended to see the light of day. As reported by Daily Star, Saravia claims that her ex took control of her social media and OnlyFans accounts after they ended their 5-year relationship. Her social media accounts are massive, with over 8 million Instagram followers and 600,000 on Twitter, meaning she has extreme reach and can easily go viral on the platforms. Saravia alleges that Hunter hacked into her OnlyFans and started selling videos and photos of her for as much as $35 a piece. So basically this is like a revenge porn kind of situation, it seems like. I guess they broke up after 5 years of dating and I assume making content or whatever together, and dude just took over her accounts and started selling stuff that they were not posting for in private. That's what I'm kind of understanding this to be, which obviously probably not morally correct to do. I mean, if something is not meant to be posted, it shouldn't be posted. And especially if there was an agreement between the two, hey, this is stuff we don't post. Obviously, I don't think many people are going to be like, oh, bro was in the right, lol. That is a pretty scummy thing to do. Now, she actually ended up suing him over this, and as you could see by the title of this, the lawsuit alleges $6.3 billion worth of damages, which is just absurd. I think most people can agree, that is an insane amount of money. $6.3 billion is not only something that this guy would never, ever be able to possibly pay, but it's just such a large, ludicrous amount of money that I feel like it actually ends up hurting the case more than it does doing anything to benefit it, right? Like I said, I see why she would want to sue. If this is her job, for me, I guess this would be in a way if I was making YouTube videos with somebody and we had a falling out and they just started leaking a bunch of content that I made. Yeah, I'd be kind of shitty, right? That'd suck, right? No one would really want that, except in this instance, it's even more private. It's actual nude content, from my understanding, that this guy's selling without her permission. So not only is it affecting her personally, but it's also affecting her financially because this is her job. But like I said, $6.3 billion, there's just no possible way that that's ever going to be something that, happens. The model's lawyer, Joseph DeRuzzo, says Hunter took away Saravia's control over what content gets published. This is similar to what happened to fellow OnlyFans star Amaranth. Quote, defendant used the OnlyFans account to sell sexually explicit videos and images of the plaintiff based on material he had amassed prior to the severance of their business and personal relationship, he said in the court complaint. As for why Saravia is asking for a massive $6.3 billion, the reasoning comes down to how many people on her Twitter account would have seen the content posted without her consent. In total, she had 628,000 followers in October when the two broke up, with the lawsuit representing 10,000 for each. Regardless of the lawsuit, the feud between Michaela and her ex is peanuts in comparison to some other OnlyFans couples. Just recently, Abigail White, aka Fake Barbie, complained about a lack of conjugal visits in jail after she stabbed her boyfriend to death. Okay, that's just unrelated, I guess. But anyway, back to what's important here, right? Their idea is, oh, she has all these Twitter followers that could have seen that content without her consent. We want $10,000 for each, right? Well, the problem I'm seeing with that, right? Now, of course, I'm not a fucking lawyer or anything, know, I'm not, you know, fucking Robert Kardashian about to get OJ off the stands or something crazy here, but, you know, just using like some common sense or some thought here, right? I'm gonna go ahead and assume that you would have to actually prove that there was this amount of financial damage, right? Like, there's a really loud airplane above me right now. Anyway, like, I would assume if you're gonna go to court, like, especially for $6.3 billion with a B, you're gonna have to prove to the judge or whoever, right, like, that you could have made $6.3 billion had he not done what he did, right, to your business. And, like, the personal damage or whatever that he's causing you for the emotional shit of it and whatnot. There's just no chance that any sane person is gonna be like, yeah, even though he wasn't selling the content on Twitter, let's take this Twitter page as an example of what could have happened. Like, from my understanding, he was selling this content on her OnlyFans, like kind of posing to be her, I guess. That doesn't really have anything to do with the amount of Twitter followers that she has, right? And regardless, not 620,000 people didn't see that, right? Like, it was, I'm assuming, private DMs between customers or whatever for doing a 35 each or whatever. There's just, I don't see a way, right, for like, how would 628,000 people ever really have saw that? You know what I mean? It wasn't like he went and put it on Twitter and it went viral or whatever, right? So I just don't see how that's gonna really work in court, right? Like, using that argument, I don't really see how they're gonna be able to push this case that much further, right? But one thing I want to say that's kind of unrelated, and you know, I don't want to sit here and like accuse OnlyFans couples of having all of them doing this or whatever, right? Like, but isn't it fucking kind of weird, man, how we've been hearing stories come out in the last few months and whatnot that like these massive OnlyFans stars are just getting like fucking completely emotionally abused by their boyfriends, and like they're getting their business basically taken over by their significant others and shit. Like, if it's happening to, you know, like Amaranth and then now this chick, right? Like, who else is it happening to out there, man? Because like, it kind of, I don't know, it sounds weird, but like, it makes me think of almost like the like YouTube kids channel kind of things. Because like, you know, when the kids channels blow up and they make a bunch of money, like the parents just dominate that business and they like exploit their kids and get a fuck ton of money off of it or whatever. And then you hear stories of like these kids not really getting any of the money or whatever, and that being like a concern that people have. And then now you have like these OnlyFans models that have like their boyfriends just like take over their whole business, make a shit ton of money, and then like hold their business over their head and like just completely dominate what they're doing, right? Like, I don't know. It's just insane to me that like we keep hearing about this, right? Like, is this going to be a continual issue? Like, are we going to have to start looking at some of these fucking OnlyFans couples and being like, what's really going on behind closed doors? I don't know, man, but it's like weird that this continually happens. And like, it really does make sense though. Like, when you really logically think about it, like how many abusive boyfriends out there can you imagine, right? Like, if their girl became an OnlyFans star and was making fucking $200,000 a month selling pictures of her butt crack in bikinis, how many dudes out there do you know would just be like, fuck it, that's my money now, you know? Like, it's dudes out there now who already do that with their girl who works at fucking Popeyes, you know what I mean? Like, imagine if some of these dudes had girlfriends making this kind of money. Like, it makes sense that people get involved and they like try and get in there and get in their fucking pockets and whatnot. And it's kind of sad to really think about, man, because like in this situation, like, I mean, the dude is clearly wrong, right? Like, even on like a business standpoint and like a moral standpoint, like, you should never leak videos or pictures of your ex really for any reasons, right? Like, that's just not something you should do, man. That's just fucked up. But to like take over their business accounts when they're a sex worker and sell photos and videos of them to people without their consent and just purely profiting off of it, that's just kind of fucking disgusting, man. Like, that's just not really defensible in my opinion. I know there's probably some TikTok kids out there that are like, oh, W-mans, LOL. Like, nah, man, that really isn't cool. That is pretty fucking disgusting. But even on a business like perspective, man, you would never, if you were a business, like, you should not just be taking shit like that and selling other people's shit. That's not cool. But like I said, I just don't see how this is going to go. Like, I don't know, man. I have a 99% sure rate, I guess, that this will probably end up getting dismissed. And that's simply because of the price tag, man. Like, no judge or like sensible person is going to look at this case, and even though they may sympathize with her because they should, I just don't see many people being like, oh yeah, you get $6.3 billion for that. It's very unfortunate. I'm sure it did cost her some financial shit, you know, like if she can prove however much money he made selling that or whatever, absolutely involve that in some sort of financial total. I just don't know if I don't know. I just don't believe that $10,000 per random fucking person who clicked a button on Twitter is really justice. You know what I mean? And let's say hypothetically that like 0.0001% chance of this actually working does go, and a judge is like, Brody's paying 6.3 billion, right? Obviously, she's never gonna see that money. I mean, yeah, he'll pay some money. He'll pass off what 11 cents a month or something towards it, so he's technically paying off his debt or whatever, and she'll get fucking nothing from it. If that were to happen, it would just to be to say, oh hey, I won the lawsuit for 6.3 billion. She might get some money, I guess, if he like actually has to like forfeit money up front, or I don't know how that whole process works, but I just don't ever see it being anything close to $6.3 billion. I mean, that alone is probably worth like a fraction, if not more. Hold on, let's look this up actually before I even say this. That's actually over 6 times higher than the entire total revenue of the OnlyFans business in 2021. The company made $900 million that year. She is asking for $6.3 billion. Okay, so it just, I don't know, man. It just doesn't make sense. Like from what I'm reading on here, like they've only distributed probably less money than that to creators in total on the whole platform. Like I just don't see how you can try and sue for the value of something that's more than the entire platform in which it happened on. I don't know. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about the OnlyFans lawsuit and signing out.